I worked at a video game studio in Orlando, Florida. The last few weeks were very hard. A big project was due soon, so I stayed late at the office almost every night. On that rainy Wednesday evening, it was very dark outside. Lightning flashed now and then lighting up everything. The sound of rain on my window helped me focus on my coding. Only one other person was still there. My teammate, Alex. He was finishing his work too under the same tight deadline. It was about 8 or 9 p.m. when he knocked on my door and said he was leaving. He asked if I could lock up, and I said yes. I heard the main door shut hard, and then I was alone. Our office is shaped like an L. The front door is at one end, and my room is in the short part like a corner spot. To stay awake, I went to the break room for some hot coffee, just a bit to last another hour. As I waited by the machine, leaning on the counter, I heard a door close. I looked out into the hall to see if anyone was there. I called out, but no one answered. It sounded like one of the small office doors, not the heavy main one. I walked through both halls and tried all the doors. They were locked. When I got to my hall, all 3 doors were shut, including mine. I had left mine open for sure, and there was no wind because the windows were closed. I thought someone might be playing a trick on me. I opened my door fast, ready for someone to jump out. But no, my room was the same. Chair, computer, everything. It was weird that the door closed by itself. It never did that before. But I let it go and kept working. The rain kept hitting the window, and lightning scared me a few times. More time passed, and it was getting too late. I was happy with what I did, so I saved my files and started shutting down my computer. I clicked to turn it off and switched off the screen. It went dark, and then I saw it in the reflection. A woman standing behind me. I didn't jump or yell, but my heart sank. I didn't turn around. I just got up slowly, grabbed my bag like I didn't see her, and walked to the door. I didn't look back to close it. I walked down the hall until I was far enough, then ran out the main door. I went down the stairs to the ground floor and ran to my car in the rain. The whole time, I was scared she might follow or grab me. In my car, I took a deep breath and looked up at my office window. The light was still on, and I think I saw a small gap in the blinds, like someone was looking down at me. I called my boss, Elena, right away. She said no one else should be there. She would call the night guard to check. I went home after some time. Later, Elena called and said the guard looked but saw no one. I told her again what I saw, and it scared her too. We have only one camera, near the kitchen at the end of the long hall, and it didn't show any woman walking around that night. A long time ago, I did security work at a tall building in Midtown Manhattan. It was mid-November, so one office, a skin doctor place upstairs, wanted to put up Christmas decorations. They were stored in the basement with other stuff. I usually stood in the main entrance area as general security. The job was mostly boring, but that cold Monday in November changed everything. A worker from the clinic went to the basement and said all lights were out and the elevator wouldn't go there. It seemed like a fix-it job at first, but they also said doors were broken open, like someone broke in over the weekend. Then it became my task to check it out. The elevator skipped the basement, so I had to use the stairs. I was alone that day, the only guard. I took a flashlight because it was dark down there. It was scary going alone. The basement had storage, electric parts, and cleaning tools. It was like a small maze of halls and rooms, and moving through it in the dark with just a light made me very nervous. Doors led to storage for different businesses in the building. It was true, many doors were smashed in. Some looked like they were hit with an axe. This was serious. I was just a guard, not paid enough to hunt for dangerous people without a weapon. I looked quickly into each broken room. Stuff was still there, no signs of stealing. But someone had come for a reason. I kept checking rooms with short looks from my light. Then I heard a loud slam somewhere in the basement, and everything went quiet. The usual sounds, like from a heater or pipe, stopped. Now it was dead silent, and every step I took sounded much louder. Someone was still there, from that slam. It might have been another door or what made the noises stop. I was dumb and called out, "Who's there?" My voice echoed. I started going back the way I came slowly. I wasn't staying longer, this was for the police. I was almost at the stairs when I heard heavy breathing from around the last corner. I knew it was breathing right away. I was very scared. Why did this happen to me? I turned off my light and moved quietly closer to peek. Strangely, the breathing stopped. I said hello and turned the light back on. Even though it wasn't pointed right there, I saw a very tall, bent-over shape facing the wall. It held a long thing that could be a weapon. I think it was a man because of the huge size. I saw the face turn toward the light. It was pale and very long. I think bald. Another reason for man, but I didn't look long. I ran past it to the stairs, yelling that cops were coming and to leave now. I ran up the stairs, through the door, locked it and called 911. Many police cars came. It was a big deal. At least 4 officers went down. I felt useless, but getting rid of a big armed person in the dark wasn't my job. They came back without anyone. They couldn't find him. An electrician fixed the power. It was messed with in the electric box. With lights on, police still found no one. There are many stairs up from the basement. He might have used one. People believed me. Doors don't break themselves. I took sick days after, and for a week I couldn't sleep. I kept checking my room in the dark, scared of seeing a giant shape in a corner. In 2002, my first job was at a call center on night shifts in Makati. The office was new, shaped like a long circle with the middle being the elevators and main doors. It had 2 long halls and 2 short ones. Since it was new, only half was done. One long side was a working area with boss rooms and a food spot. The other long side was for meeting rooms, nurse rooms, storage, office stuff, bathrooms, and it wasn't finished. The meeting room had plain concrete floors and wires hanging out. The working side was bright and lit well, like a call center should be. The unfinished side had only some lights. To make matters worse, guards turned off all lights there because no one used it. People avoided that side, and for bathroom trips, you ran there and back fast. 2 weeks in, my teammate, who was always sick, had a bad headache. I told her to tell our team leader so she could rest. The leader said go to the nurse room in the unfinished side. We knew it from the sign over the door we saw on bathroom trips. I went with her. We got there, but the door was locked and no one inside, even with lights on. The door had a thin window, so we looked in. We saw medical tools, a bed, a desk, everything but the nurse. We thought maybe the nurse was on break, so we'd come back. About 30 minutes later, we went again. The light was off now. We were mad thinking the nurse went home, but we checked for a note or schedule. I don't know why, but I tried the handle even with no light and it opened. But there was no nurse room, even though the sign said it was. We checked the sign many times. It was the right room. Instead of a full clinic, there was a small light in an open socket showing concrete walls and floors. No beds, no cabinets, nothing. It was like we imagined the clinic before. A guard came up, asking why we were in an unfinished nurse room. We told him what happened, and he thought we made it up. While trying to convince him, the air got cold suddenly. We shivered. Our hair stood up, hearts beat fast, and we couldn't talk for a minute. My teammate started crying hard. The guard looked nervous, pushed us out, and locked the door. He walked us back to our area, and we told the leader everything. He just sat there shocked. Since she kept crying and breathing too fast, they sent her to a hospital nearby. The incident was never talked about again.